afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, your god of the New World Order. Off here to 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. In the north it is GBW LXHD12, which I don't know what stands for. Probably just his cat running across the keyboard, or her cat. Everyone can own a cat. In the south, that is Orangepest fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland with MG42's infantry start. There we got elite troops, lightning war, and we got strategic reserves versus GW. We'll just call them W. Yeah, that seems right. W. Here with Recon support, mechanized and heavy cavalry. We got double infantry machine guns versus double pack and machine guns there for Orangepest. Specifically for much faster production. In fact, he's looking at a total of 60%, so he's going to be able to push out those packs very fast. We got double rifles out there for W. Pretty standard stuff there. Gonna use MU42 moving out there. Standard stuff. Note the eastern push there. Some players would like to push westwards towards the cemetery there, but they're not usually just better off focusing on one spot initially, sort of trying to control that with machine guns and infantry, work them together in tight coordination. That way, overwhelm the opponent and slowly push them back. If you're spread out too thinly, it can occasionally work out, but particularly as the Americans, you can quickly find your forces surrounded and cut off. Plus, the Grenadiers in a 1 vs 1 situation with Riflemen will tend to lose unless your opponent sort of very generously stands the Riflenet far away from the Grenadiers. Allows them to shoot at them from a safe distance. Oh, we're looking to secure the centre with MG42, also looking to overall secure the centre with not just the MG42 but barbed wire here. So an aggressive push there for Orangepest, trying to that way sort of limit the movement here of the Americans in the early game. W there, by the way, fighting for the 2nd Infantry with Orangepest here forming up the 9th Panzer Division. Tasked with securing the area here from any American troops that might have poked their noses a bit too far ahead. We got INR Pathfinders up there for W. Gonna just move towards the centre there. Pioneers falling back, MG42 hanging back here. Nothing further going there in W's base, grabbing the eastern fuel point. We're probably seeing a fast lieutenant out here, again very standard though. Versus the Wehrmacht, he could be tempted, well actually he doesn't even have to. I mean, he's got this one, he doesn't even need to go for it, but he does still go for it, probably for the anti-tank guns. But I would say, the airdrop combat groups will run with pack counters anyways, which, would be one of your better counters versus the Wehrmacht, I would say, overall playstyle, due to its slower, in cases, more static nature, unless they go heavy on Panzer Grenadiers and Assault Infantry, though, considering he hasn't seen any strategic research for now, that's likely they could still go for elite troops with Stormtroopers. That's an option. We'll have to see how Orangepest takes up, but triple Grenadiers MG42 is usually the point we then begin taking up. Note the Grenadiers here working together, while the MG42 remains here. I'm not a super fan of that. I kind of can understand it, because he wants to lock down the centre, again make it hard for his opponent to move back, but still, it's going to require much more tighter coordination between the remaining Grenadiers, since again, without the MG42, things can kind of swing against them rapidly. Plus, against Recon support, and again, he probably doesn't know it yet. I mean, again, an artillery barrage can very quickly finish off an MG42 in the house there, so it's a bit not without its risk here for Orangepest. Of course, in this case, he doesn't know that particular risk yet. He could assume it, but he wouldn't be safe to know. But now, he's seen the Iron Pathfinders. He knows now that could quickly turn ugly. Or at least he should be considering that possibility, at least, that he could turn ugly. W, they're getting the captain now. Pathfinders being pushed back by a lot of Grenadiers, basically a mini horde there in the west, rifling up the way, also working together aggressively. Back here, take up down there for Orangepest and the German army. Pathfinders have been shot down by the Grenadiers, while they might be able to pick off a single Grenadier. The problem is they're just under too much fire there. MG42 acting moving out in the house. They again possibly responded to the Pathfinders just because he's feeling bold there. I like the idea of certainly using MG42 aggressively. In fact, it's very crucial as the Wehrmacht, even it can again feel awkward, but the problem is, if you don't, you're usually just dictating the engagement to your opponent. The problem is, if the opponent is dictating the machine gun engagement, he will usually win because your machine gun is too slow to react. So usually, the HMG42 is much better served offensively. Like in buildings, it's alright because it switches windows faster, it can sort of react to threats faster, but even then, you usually want to back up your troops more effectively. But that's just my opinion. W here, though, coming not just to the captain, but to the lieutenant. That's going to give him a lot more infantry that way, both officers, obviously. But also, that's allowed him to maybe then sort of just skip upgrading out of the two and just move straight to the major for tanks. I mean, that's a possibility there for W as well here. Arriving there, being routed by the Grenadiers. A lot of accurate fire there, hounding them. Pathfinders, Lieutenant Captain moving up the rations, backing all up. Riflenet here on the retreat path, or at least attempted Riflenet on the retreat path. Doesn't quite hit the mark there, I'm afraid. Like to make a nice company of Orangepest. 2 to 2 would be a good choice. 250 and half tech could also be nice, but there you go. Huge counter-attack here, and Orangepest, again, having committed all his forces into basically one, you know, horde there, blob, is rapidly routed. He's going for the 2-2 there. MD42 could have backed up. I think that would have been quite helpful, but either way, he's not losing control of the map. The 2-2 will have to, I think, quickly rush into the eastern side to protect the field there from being harassed. And we got the second doctoral choice here, is Orangepest with elite troops, which does open up for stormtroopers. That's a possibility. G43 for the Grenadiers as well, which are quite a handy upgrade versus the Rifleman, in my opinion. Though he's short one command point for the upgrade. Go heading for the fuel pump. Good work there by W. Ambulance almost done. Ambulance almost done. MD42 number 2 on the way for Orangepest. That's interesting and definitely not a bad choice. Again, his opponent's a lot of infantry, double machine guns. Again, can be tricky to manage, but if you can manage them all, they can actually give your opponent a bit of a hard time. And it's not going to be easy, but it's not impossible either. Again, it can be very powerful. Particularly, your opponent has a particular thing with hating machine guns. He can really just tick them off. But there you go, 2 going for the Pathfinder. Got a Rive Squad blocking their path, but it might just be a bluff, since they clearly do not have the experience to anti-tank Rive Grenades anytime soon. But in this case, Orangepest, I guess, didn't bother to check, was just playing it safe for whatever reasons, and is not pursuing the Pathfinders. I would say he had a chance of finishing them off, but maybe he hadn't. I'd like to make a bunker up there for Orangepest for some medics. Big push him in from here. Lieutenant being upgraded with a bazooka. Captain could be upgraded with a bar as well, and the 2-2 that quickly falls back. MD42 number 2 moving in, probably going to support the troops to the front line. At least that'd be the best move. Overall, in terms of map control, it's roughly 50-50 there. So now the side is really gaining a resource advantage over the other one. And in particular on a map like Crossroads, it's actually really important, since this is a map where the resources can quickly snowball. So we got the anti-tank out there for W. And again, no, neither mechanized command they upgraded. Again, it certainly gives the impression he's going to just go straight for the battalion command post. Which again is not necessarily a bad strategy, it's just one rarely seen. But rare does not mean bad, it just means rare. There we go, plenty of G46, got this concussor grenade there off, which is technically just a regular shield hunter grenade, but without the fragmentation sleeve, since that's just basically a concussor weapon. Which is also in some ways lethal, but also just, if you're not within the lethal range, you just get stunned, I guess. And so forward to the hosing down the troops in up close quarters. Again, we can sort of see them more aggressively handle MD42 or HMG42 team again. Can be quite nasty for your opponent to deal with, like they suddenly just find themselves in front of it. So again, it has some advantages there, and it's again sort of just highlights the weirdness of the Wehrmacht, because again, in some ways, again, the HMG42 is just a better offensive weapon, but on paper they're supposed to be the defensive faction, so yeah. Reason they're being routed by the 2-2 and the Grenadiers. Punishment to fix up the 2-2. Fast tech will be a good idea, though Stormtroopers or Panzer Grenadiers will be an excellent addition right now for Orangepest, but we're up to 4 infantry squads, which we actually need to sort of at least be closer in terms of infantry numbers here to W here. But of course, just assault infantry can be quite handy to just back your stuff up. Either way, though, killing off a lot of resources. Again, aggressive place there for Orangepest, just going in hard there. And again, as the Wehrmacht, I suppose you could argue then, of course, offense is the best defense, in which case, again, that's how the Wehrmacht plays defensively, by just playing very aggressively and then just, you know, killing your opponent on the back foot. Of course, arguably, that might be a bit of a stretch. There you go, smoke grenades up there. So he's upgrade grenades in response to Orangepest's aggressive MD42 play. He could have gone for mortars in an easy, cheap addition that way, but, you know, smoke grenades is also good. Gives him more ways to surprise his opponent, not to deal with him. Machine guns routed. Still, good play by Orangepest and his MD42s. Thumbs up there. Definitely what I would say one of the hallmarks of good Wehrmacht play. That is good MD42 handling. Take up there for Orangepest. Grab the western fuel plant S again. He's basically going to be able to rush ahead here of the W here now in terms of resources. Using the 2-2 to basically push around the bazooka man on the lieutenant's team, so that would deal with him. But now we've got a rifleman moving up and then tank rifleman. So he has to get the 2-2 out of there, otherwise he's going to lose it. Still good handling there. Reasonable sneaking up. Grenadiers moving up westwards here. G for the fleece there, and rifleman moves into a third G for the fleece squad. This is a pretty bad situation for W's rifleman. They need to retreat now. Oh, he could even try and interrogate, but most players never do that. I mean, it does actually give you a lot of information if you pay attention, but again, it can be tricky to sort of pay attention. Is this guy actually alive, or sort of alive, or, you know, is he actually dead? So there tends to be, you know, a lot of players don't bother, but still, getting up fast upon could be a good deal. Also against Stormtroopers, Panzer Grenadiers will think will be a strong addition here for Orangepest. Another big Grenadier swing here towards the carve point, though need to mind for the rest of his forces. Grenade off here, MD42 routed. This one's not shooting. Guess it's sort of glitched out and had to retreat there. Bit unfortunate for Orangepest. W, though, is yet to respond here to the cut-off point harassment. Those now heading for the eastern point instead. Good play there. Good flexible and responsive play there by W. Rather than just trying to respond here to Orangepest provocation. He's just thinking, well, if most of his infantry there, he's going to be able to cover the rest of the map, so I'm just going to hit there instead and just rebound after that, which is definitely, I think, a very sensible line of play there. Plus, he's cutting off his opponent's resources, and add to that, we cut off resources from theirs. Again, nice response play there by W. We got weapon racks on the way there, interesting enough. No tech up. We have an airdrop coming. I mean, compared to right now with Browning light machine guns, I think we do a lot of good. Lots of concussive grenades there. Not that they do any damage, sadly. And we got a Greyhound out here for W. More immediate response to all the Grenadiers, obviously. And he doesn't have a lot of direct counters to it, so I can't see make a lot of sense here. But there you go, cut off his opponent's resources. So yeah, the map is certainly looking a bit scattered at the moment, a bit like a fractured mirror. Like someone punched it really hard. M4 up the Lieutenant, quickly killing one guy there. 3 men remaining, they probably retreat, but got the Greyhound moving in there with his 30mm gun. Directs him from the 2-2, smoke screen off there from W and his Lieutenant, very good. Need to get the ground out of there, I think, but the 2-2 that could turn a bit against him. Still, good harassment here, still a lot of territory being denied and recaptured and grabbed back and forth. Heavy support call yet to go up there for Orangepest, and this is he planning tier 4? He is planning tier 4, alright. Orangepest's bold and aggressive strategy continues here in some ways at least. I mean, bold, I mean, it's always, with the exception of just like one more MD42 in that regard, it's not like off the typical meta reservation. But the way it's happening, I would say it's certainly more aggressive and bold. But W here is quickly responding and more, I would say, adapting here to Orangepest strategies. So that's obviously something that might require some fresh adaptation there from Orangepest to respond to. 50 cavalry there for W. Of course, with the Greyhound out, he can't go for fast, making that way fast armour. Orangepest, of course, it's not going to be an immediate threat in that sense, since he's also going for the heavy Panzer gun, like the other Sturmpanzer or Panther. So either way, though, W doesn't have an immediate threat, so I'm going to go more time to actually, you know, gain an advantage or Orangepest. Ooh, another concussive grenade there. Very consistent third usage of the concussive grenades there by Orangepest. Thumbs up. I would like to see a Stormtrooper scored or Panzer Grenadier scored at least. Right grenade off as well. And Radby, of course, got plenty of bars out there for W now. Slow movement here towards the cemetery with an MD42 backing up the Pioneers advance, and there he goes. Stormtroopers out. But obviously, he goes for the MP40 package, or he goes for the Jaeger infantry package. Most players, I would say, go for the MP40, but there are a few people who go for the G43 package and stay on the Stormtroopers. And the fact we're not seeing MP40s now is likely indicating he's going to go for the G43s on the Stormtroopers, which means they get 3 compared with the regular Grenadiers 2. Plus, they still have the durability of the Panzer Grenadiers. If not, actually, they're slightly harder to kill than Panzer Grenadiers, so they can be, so in that sense, pretty good G43 upgrades, since unlike the Panzer Grenadiers, you're not downgrading them, you're actually just straight up upgrading them. But again, with the Panzer Grenadiers equipped with the G43s, you're kind of downgrading them in most cases. Even like get slight improvement on like long range, it's just usually not worth what you're sort of surrendering your sort of short to mid range on them, in my opinion. So we're probably seeing some G43s there once it gets the munitions. Should probably get the Hey Panzer co-op. We got 5th coming up against the MD42. Good play there. Graham could also assist. He could even wipe out the MD4. In fact, this is a pretty risky play there by Orangepest. I mean, he's extending his machine gun quite a bit. Yeah. He does hit retreat as soon as possible, but again, 5th caliber bars and all that. Very good chance of wiping it out here. Yep, that's going to be a wipe there. Orangepest easily punished. Nice patient setup there by W. Thumbs up there to W in his response. Orangepest still got plenty of manpower, and honestly, in this case, the stage fuel cache would be a great addition. Or munitions cache. Well, we got the Stormtrooper with the G43, so Gewehr 43. Lovington bunched up there by the double tank trap position. And of course now, W is the one with the 2 machine guns. Orangepest only got 1 machine gun, and he's still floating a lot of manpower. I'm not a fan of that for sure, but we've got the Heer Panzer going up. We could go for the Sturmpanzer again, certainly with a lot of infantry out from W, and no immediate armoured threats. Sturmpanzer. This is the better choice there. We've got 5th Cavalry coming up, one of these charging force there. We've got a 2-2 flank going for the ground, and the tank opening up in the turn, going on the 2-2. Smoke screen off here from, I imagine, the Greyhound? No, not Greyhound, something else. Oh, Stormtroopers, yeah, of course. Oh, wait, troops falling back, though, due to a increased response here from W, as in fact flanks from the east. Good play there. 2-2 almost taken down. Troops were milling about there. Greyhound being fixed up rapidly. Teg almost down there. Orangepest still flooding a lot of manpower. Really likes some tech up there. Although tech up with some infantry. Maybe again a fuel cache or a munitions cache. Either of those two could work out nicely. Going for the cuff on the road there. And the mayor's out. Pack 40 covering up the main road here with an MG42. We do get the Sturmpanzer Vieh out there for Orangepest, because he's been rushing out, so in this sense, and plus his, I would say, ability to at least ensure that W doesn't get too far out of him in fuel, and the fact he just kind of went for almost everything except like a major within the first, 14-15 minutes. Also means again he's not going to have a lot to like directly punish Orangepest with the Sturmpanzer. I mean, anti-tank guns and bazookas would be a problem, but they're not a direct punishment, because they're not just going to meet the against rules. His infantry afterwards, per se, which a tank could do. So Sturmpanzer should be a good choice here for Orangepest. Though down the road he will want a Panther. And again, fuel cache could be a good addition. There we got some minesweepers out there for Orangepest. We got a 2nd Stormtrooper squad, and I imagine that's also going to be another G43. That actually puts him at 6 infantry squad or 5 infantry squads, which is I would say the good maximum. Usually my rule is 3 to 5 infantry squads is usually what you want to handle. 3 is the minimum, 5 is the maximum. Beyond that, I would say usually sort of begin running into issues, either because you don't have enough infantry and just can't do anything, or at least not enough, or you end up having too much infantry to manage to just begin losing infantry wildly. So I mean, some people might be able to handle more infantry, but I would say there are not a lot of them. Captain the ride with the 2-2 and the Pioneers. Big infantry pushes, bunching up his infantry too much, but to make it easier for the 5th cover there to stop one of the main G42 to stop the troops. Got the Sturmpanzer moving in. There we go. Right into the bazooka teams though. Shot fired, missed. Bazooka shots there, bouncing off the 100mm thick armour on the end. The rear armour is a much easier target. Anti-tank rifle going off. Stormtroopers taking advantage of the Sturmpanzer's wake here to quickly push through the infantry, cutting down a lot of infantry with expert marksman fire. Machine gun there being routed. Good push there, and we even got a bazooka dropped here for Orangepest to pick up and turn against us for Damte Amerikanen. Machine gun there almost being taken out, but the Sturmpanzer in this case blocks the movement of infantry, allowing it possibly the MG42 to make it back home there. In the west end, Cindy Armpits ran for the MG42, quickly sawing through the anti-tank gun crew. And a fun fact, machine gun teams are really good at dealing with anti-tank guns, because normally troops get suppressed, which means they begin taking less damage. Anti-tank guns can't be suppressed, meaning they will always take full damage from the machine gun. So incendiary armpit rounds especially is also really good counters like. So if you can catch an anti-tank gun crew with your machine guns, you can quickly do some serious damage. But there you go, on battling into the base there from the Sturmpanzer. A bold move there, which also of course just tells W his base is not safe, and I'm going to keep knocking on the door and trying to kick it in. So thumbs up there to Orangepest. Not a lot of players would go for base raids, but clearly Orangepest is one of the few. He's part of the elite. WS probably going to go for Jackson response to the Sturmpanzer, and likely he's going to expect the Panther afterwards. So that Jackson's going to be good, and Double Jackson will be even worse for Orangepest there to deal with. We got 384 versus 339. Victory points wise they're pretty close. 50 car hanging back here. Back at base for Orangepest. Nothing further going on. Gonna be holding up there. Could pick up the bazooka with the Pioneers. I'm sure they will march for the Pioneers, but they're not going to be combat effective anyways. But there you go. M36 Jackson out. Note, I believe he used the Captain Net Advanced Production. He did. Oh, thumbs up to W. 2 thumbs up. I really like it when American players actually use the abilities like that. Not against me, of course, but on average. Rather than getting hosed down, we got a cluster bomb in here trying to force retreat and sort of take out our units. He does get the Pioneers by the looks of it. Oh, not quite. In the end, he didn't quite get any wipe. In fact, he suffered a wipe there. Still, it did take out a huge chunk there of Orangepest's infantry. But he didn't quite land a wipe either. So I suppose he did buy himself some respite, but Not quite enough to, I think, really make any big gains. So they could still try and push for the eastern fuel point. Pack 40 being up there. The Panzer they can only 40. Fifth coming out there. Was the most common German anti-tank gun throughout the war. For the most part, there's also the Pack 38, and there's also the Pack 39, which is sort of an in-between, basically using a French gun mounted on a, I think, Pack 38 chassis. Not quite as good as the Pack 40, but this saw some usage, for example, particularly on like lower rate divisions. Sort of, you know, function as an anti-tank gun. That was a bit better than the Pack 38, I believe. So little fun fact there. The Germans had a lot of, shall I say, those solutions where they sort of like adapted like an enemy gun to somehow be, you know, better in service with them. For example, they'd rechamber cis-3 guns to, you know, use their own munitions, for example, since they didn't have like 6.2mm shells. So they'd sort of, you know, set them up to use Pack 40 shells instead. And those would actually get mounted on tanks as well, like the Marder. It's a fun fact. And we got artillery called in here on the machine gun position. Meet response there. Major artillery actually, not the Pathfinder artillery, but still takes out the building. Grabbing the eastern fuel point there. Now it's Orangepest who's risk getting outrun here by W and then in terms of resources if he's not careful. Either side I think could all spend from fuel cash. Then he's moving up, we got Bazooka team opening up there, Jackson hanging back, but can't really stop all the infantry though. 5th cavalry there, IX-74 trying to deal with the infantry. We got a flank from the south as well. This is a good push for Orangepest, bringing in a large group here which draws the attention. And then once the attention has been drawn, he then hits from the flank, and there you go, just flashes it with rifle grenades. Good push there by Orangepest, good push him like that part it failed. The Storms would have round from the rear, but had a good chance of, you know, doing the remaining work there. So thumbs up to Orangepest there. You can soon go for a Panther. He could also try and go for the Tigris. Now, of course, that would give W more time to sort of, you know, do what he wants to. He's going for the Scott here, though, so he's feeling pretty confident in Jackson for now. So he's actually not possibly anticipating a Tiger race, which is, you know, actually a reason then for Orangepest to go for a Tiger race. Like, if your opponent's showing sign he is not expecting a Tiger race, and you have access to the Tiger race, you go for the Tiger race. And you spank them good. MD4 to the Major hanging back here for W up back here. Tech Scott slowly happening. In this case, is not supervising. Greyhound being fixed up. Jackson hanging back alongside the anti-tank gun. Slow push into the west. Fuel point there could be attacked, though he's probably a bit more wary there after losing the MD42 to Orangepest. It seems like Orangepest might be being a certain assault. We got an ace machine gun opening up from the Major. Scott out. Manpower being flooded. Again, fuel cash could be an excellent investment there for Orangepest, but also speed up the acquisition of the Tigris. Smoking off there, and there you go. A Rifleman, Captain Parford going for the Stormtrooper on the east side. We got the Scott bringing up to back up the Lieutenant here. Jackson, Scott, and Tank hanging back. We got cluster bombs surfing around. Oh, on the machine gun. Also, possibly catching the Stormtrooper in retreat. Nice call in there by W. Clearly confounding Orangepest. Was not anticipating there. Almost killing all of his stuff there, but they all get away though, which is actually kind of lucky for Orangepest. But there you go. His Pat though might go down to the 2 charging in there. Immediately deploying a smokes in there with Panther to cover the tree at the Pack 40. Thumbs up there to Orangepest. Good response. Good handling. Communities bringing head troops. They're being hosed down up north. We got the 5th Cavalry holding back the Pioneers. Telemans attempted but disrupted. Going straight here for the retreating infantry. We've got the Greyhound there hanging back. 2 stars. Veterancy, but 3 kills. Bazooka opening up there. Missing though the 222 quite nicely. Sturmpanzer did get taken out somewhere, but I missed that. Where the hell did I miss that one? Huh? Oh well. Gunnies under fire here. 2-2 moving in. Scott firing at the gunnies in the east. Scott firing. To do charging 40 past the 50 caliber, hosing it down. Entertaining the fire, taking minor casualties. Troops are hitting and forcing. He's clearly going for the Tigris now here versus W. W, they lost his anti-tank gun crew. Strong here with getting Scott to do what a Scott normally does, which is just murder infantry. And once the Tigers arrives, W might have an even harder time with that. Destroying the anti-tank gun, got response to their Orangepest. Oh, murdering the Greyhound crew. He's not paying attention. Oh no. Or oh yes, if you're the Germans. Storms was routed, using the Pathfinder set to crew the ground to at least get out of there while the crew gets reinforced. Push for the Western fuel point there, good play. I'm surprised we haven't seen any airdrop coming through from W. They just tend to be very popular after they make them cheap and cost munitions as well. I mean, getting a pack card and a paratrooper score would be a really good choice. We've got another, cluster bombs off here. Will this one do a bit more? Oh no. Almost wiped the ace machine gun crew, but once more they do survive the cloud of death there, which W unleashed against him. He's going to need another Jackson soon though, because that Tiger Ace is going to hurt. Like a ton of bricks flung in his general direction. And his name went, oh, he's going for another Scott. He's in for a world of hurt, or at least he would if he'd gone for it sooner, or if he rushes it out before he realizes the Tiger Ace is hitting him like a ton of bricks in his direction with his name on it. Very carefully, on every single brick offset ton of brick has W's name written on it. Carefully done there by Orangepest with his finest handwriting. He's a dedicated man when it comes to flinging a ton of bricks. Got the Western field point there. Greyhound good to go. 341 to 286. Tiger is hanging back. He's not quite ready to commit yet. I will have to beat. Oh no, for W though. That means, of course, again, he's going to have one Jackson to stop the Tiger Ace and maybe some anti-tank rough grenades. Like, doesn't he have bazookas? So he can pick up at least one. He can pick up two, but two bazookas is not going to be another huge Tiger Ace stopper. Actual Tigers, perhaps, but Tiger tanks, you're going to need a lot more bazookas. But there you go, Scott's the tank part of the Infantry still. I imagine W is finding himself a bit shocked here by the push going on here. Tiger is backed up the pack 40 here, almost got the Jackson. Scott firing away effectively. Troops on the flank there being suppressed. Captain could try and grab the bazooka and maybe hunt the Tiger's rear there. Kind of need storms to push back, very good. Tiger is falling back. Needs to repair all of his stuff, and he's going to need more anti-tank guns to get out more Jacksons. Quick retreat here. The West Greyhound with Major moving in there. Got the 2-2 debt there, by the way. Taken up by some bazookas, I imagine. Or Greyhound. Machine gun there routed. We got more storms without having lost one squad there to the Americans previously. We got 340 to 286. Tiger Ace will need some light repairs, though. One thing you got to W is force, we're going to need more repairs though. M1 anti-tank on the way there, very good. Fun fact about the icon of the Storms was actually the divisional symbol for the Panzer Grenadier Division Brandenburger, which was sort of initially in Special Operations Unit that would later be formed into an actual Panzer Grenadier Division. I think it was roughly 1943. It would later be made part of the Großdeutschland Panzer Corps. Fun fact. Fixing up the Tiger Ace there. And before from the captain. Machine guns, Pathfinders, rifle moving in there. Scott's moving up as well. Smoke screen off. Very good. Dumps up the W. I'm sure Orangepest would prefer to raise another finger against W for that. Tiger Ace heading out. Graham good to go for W. Tigers up from the captain there, Jackson up on the flank of the Tigers. We've also got the M1 anti-tank gun. Need to be careful about that since the M1 has a high rate of fire, so we can quickly do a lot of damage to the Tigers if it exposes the rear. Go, quickly push back. Smoking down for this Scott. I like he's using smoke consistently. I like that. It is worth noting, even large artillery guns with active access to smoke. I think even like the Germans had like smoke rockets for the Nebelwerfers, which is obviously in part what the name means, fog thrower. Like the initial name was sort of partly just in order to, you know, deceive the Allies to think they weren't rockets, they were just, you know, sort of smoke throwers. Like they had mortars called Nebelwerfers, like the 10.5 centimeter mortars. Slow fun fact there. Well, there you go. Cluster bombs called in. Orangepest sees the explosive rain coming down. Losing a bunch of grenadiers there. Sniping at the antenna there with the Tigris through the hedgerows. Very nice, killing the crew.
Crew just got wiped out.
Another Jackson there for W. Troops reinforcing back there for Orangepest. Certainly a lot of need of it. I want to try and move up a bit more on the left flank, try and grab away some more territory. I'm trying to flank up behind here, Mr. Orangepest. Tigris moves ahead here. Pretty feeling bold there. Anti-tank destroyed, by the way. Pack forward there, 82 with target weak point up in the Jackson. He's trying to take it out. Does escape. Second Jackson halfway done there for W and the 2nd Infantry. Win from there, and machine gun crew being snapped there by the Tigris. Close 52 in this steel monstrosity. Cup steel to be exact. Shot fight there on the Scott. Not quite a direct hit, but still the AoE damage did plenty. Second Jackson out there, that's 2 M36 Jackson tanks here versus Orangepest. Will he be able to handle them? Storms with their ping out of nowhere to engage the rifle there. Getting some good kills with the G43s. Tigris moving into assist. Push for the center again. Once more bunch of moving in. Once more getting hit by cluster bombs. I mean, basically, every roughly 2.5 minutes you can call in a barrage like that. Actually, closer to 3 minutes, but you get the idea. It's actually worth noting, that's almost like, you know, twice the cooldown that it has on it. So you can quickly just keep spamming them versus Orangepest. Which makes it hard for just to push for the point and then suddenly punish them for just blowing up the run, just sending in troop ball sequentially. Plus, you got the Scots as well. There you go, creeping head, taking out a machine gun, gas flanking them, but again hit by Pack covering the flank of the Tigris. Good play there by Orangepest. Left flank, that was very open, he could do some more action there. Scots Jackson, they're going for the Tigris. Good hit there, appears in the front llama, very close to it, T2. And we got another Sturmpanzer for Orangepest to help deal with infantry and support weapons. He could go for a Panther to maybe push for the armour. But I can understand the Sturmpanzer for Recon, as was known by the Germans. The Germans did not call it a Bomber, by the way, that was an allied designation. Now the 5th caliber there for W. Things we're going for into tank, but that's just me. We've got 296 with 278. Instead of farming down the advantage on these and stormtroopers. Tearing through them. 32 on the Scott, very good. Rifling it off. Close one there. And there goes 2nd, 5th caliber out there for W and the 2nd Infantry. That's the 9th Panzer shown there, takes a beating here from the Americans. They're nothing crippling. Sturmpanzer might back up the Tigris, might be time for a push. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of armoured vehicles a bit exposed. 5th caliber rifle moving in. Tigris very, very close to an access to spearhead. Direct hit from the Jackson on the Sturmpanzer 4. Rather than getting glassed a bit, double Jackson moving in there. Tigris opening up, gaining veteran 2. Popping spearhead. I think almost in the very second he gets it. Good hit on the Jackson. Tigris then of course can also hit some first troops rather than all being annihilated. Jackson down. Taken up by the Panzer crew, and there you go, rather than allowed here by the Tigris troops, taking lots of those from the Scots. You got cluster bombs calling to deal with the Pack 40 Sturmpanzer charging here. You could also think get away with charging in the Tigris here, to be honest. Troops there being pummeled by the cluster bombs. Pack crew down. Pioneer somehow survives the inferno unleashed there by W. Sturmpanzer down to less than half health. Tigris stunned a bit. Scots bombarding. Central area there turned up. Could push for the western fuel point there. Instead we got troops moving up on the right hand side to maybe outflank W's position. Then we've got a 5th caliber coming in up in theory, except it's not been set up, so the stormtroopers and grenadiers might have a chance of taking out. Scots are firing down, that could turn the game here against Orangepest there. Tigris being in the defensive, and there goes smoking it off from the stormtroopers. Grenadiers push ahead. Things are still a bit intense here. We got 296 or 257. Sitting about fixing the Sturmpanzer, not Sturmtiger, and we got the Tigris here for repairing itself. Good work. Using the crew repair ability there. Very handy ability.
The enemy is
on the Tigris. Doing a bit before players caught on to it, but it is very handy. And certainly helps make the Tigris in that sense also more viable, really, since one of the issues with the Tigris is how much time it could take to repair one, and with that ability, you certainly have to spend a lot less time so it can just assist itself. So that can keep the Tigris much more on the battlefield as well, so that's actually a pretty big one. Captain the East being suppressed here. And we got another Jackson there for W. We'll obviously have the Raps at the time. Of course, use the Camps visit to push it out faster it should. Shot bouncing off the Tigris' frontal armour. Good hit on the Scot there. Captain again could survive the Jackson tanks right. Tigris coming ahead here. And of course, the Spearhead he can also just use this range more effectively. That can punish stuff in front of it. Jackson flanking there. Decent the Tigris, but we still take out the Scots. And yeah, we go. He's going to rush in here to supervise the Jackson, get it out. Good play there. Scott that goes down. He's a bit slow there. He's obviously trying to manage his remaining frontline units there. Now here in the Tigris, it is close to virtually free, and the final level there, the hero level. Since it's obviously an 8, so it has to become a hero. Jackson out there for W there. Sturmpanzer good to go again. More cluster bombs off against the Germans. Pack crew there's about to get annihilated again. Jackson there flanking the Tigris. Shot bounces though, pretty lucky. Pack crew almost being wiped out. Single crew's right there being murdered. Scott Graham shouting with the other. Jackson there from the other side. He's going all in this now and never here for W. Got the pack forward. They need to be cleared out fast here. Tigris down to less than a quarter healthy. Jackson moves ahead. Graham should probably go for that pack forward run and try and deal with the Tigris, but he's firing at it. Pathfinder's moving ahead here. Almost got the Tigris. Got blitzing backwards. Jackson down. Greyhound stuck. Sturmpanzer got point blank range here. Pack crew dead. Tigris goes down. Infantry charging in there, sawing its way through W's remaining forces. Grant about to go down. There you go. W surrenders. He did get the Tigris, but he paid too high a price for it. So GG, game over. A victory for the German army. A loss here for W and America. Freedom, democracy was, at least for now, denied in this sector of France. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. And like what to do, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial Links in Cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.